What if I told you that behind the loud guitars and wild lifestyles, some of heavy metal's brightest stars were hiding a deadly secret? At the height of their fame, they looked invincible, thriving on stage. Adored by millions but offstage, they were fighting a virus that had no cure. From sudden disappearances to tragic endings, these stories were often buried under silence and stigma. Here are 10 famous heavy metal stars who died of AIDS and the legacies they left behind. 10. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was a rock legend whose voice and charisma changed the face of music forever. As the lead singer of Queen, he ruled stadiums with his powerful vocals and unforgettable performances. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions, and Somebody to Love became anthems for generations. Born Farrokh Bulsara in Zanzibar in 1946, Freddie moved to England as a teenager and quickly showed his passion for music. He formed Queen in the early 1970s, and the band's unique blend of rock, opera, and theatrical flair set them apart from others. Freddie was known for his wide vocal range and his ability to connect with audiences. He wrote many of Queen's biggest hits, including Crazy Little Thing Called Love and Don't Stop Me Now. His stage presence was magnetic, full of energy and flamboyance. Behind the scenes, Freddie was private about his personal life, especially when it came to his health. In the early 1980s, Freddie began showing signs of illness, but he kept his HIV diagnosis private for years. At that time, AIDS was surrounded by fear and misunderstanding, and many people hid their diagnosis. Freddie continued recording and performing, pushing through his declining health. In 1991, he recorded his last album, Innuendo, which featured some of his final vocal performances. On November 23, 1991, just a day before he died, Freddie publicly confirmed he had AIDS. He passed away the next day from bronchial pneumonia, a complication of AIDS. His death was a huge shock to fans worldwide and brought attention to the disease. Freddie's music and legacy continue to inspire millions around the world. 9. Robin Crosby. Robin Crosby was a giant in the glam metal world. Tall and full of energy, he lit up the stage with Ratt, a band that ruled the 80s with big riffs and even bigger hair. Their hit Round and Round blasted from radios and TV screens everywhere. Robin looked like a rock god, flashy clothes, big guitar, and non-stop energy. Fans saw confidence, but they didn't see the pain growing quietly beneath it all. Robin grew up in Los Angeles and was inspired by guitarists like Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick, under whom he studied before joining Ratt. His guitar tone was thick and melodic, central to Ratt's early success. He co-wrote many of the band's biggest hits, including Lay It Down and Wanted Man. Ratt's albums like Out of the Cellar sold millions and helped define the glam metal sound of the decade. In the late 80s, Robin found out he was HIV positive. Back then, AIDS was a terrifying secret no one wanted to talk about. Robin kept his diagnosis private, maybe because he didn't want to break the rock star image or because he hoped it would go away. But the disease slowly chipped away at his health. After leaving the spotlight, Robin worked behind the scenes as a guitar tech and helped other musicians. He lived in Los Angeles in his later years and spoke openly about addiction, illness, and recovery. His death in 2002 was officially ruled a heroin overdose, but AIDS complications had severely weakened him. 8. Ray Gillen. Ray Gillen had a voice that could shake the walls. As the lead singer of Badlands and briefly Black Sabbath, he was known for his raw power and emotional delivery. Fans loved his gritty, soulful style that brought life to every song. Born in 1959 in New York, Ray started singing in local bands before joining Badlands in the late 80s. Badlands was formed by guitarist Jake E. Lee, and Ray's voice was a perfect match for their bluesy, hard rock sound. The band released 2 albums that gained critical praise but limited commercial success. Ray's time with Black Sabbath came in 1986, when he replaced Glenn Hughes for a short period. His work on the unreleased The Eternal Idol sessions showed his vocal strength, but he left before the album's release. Around 1990, Ray began feeling sick but kept his diagnosis private. He was HIV positive during a time when AIDS was surrounded by fear and silence, especially in the metal world. Despite his illness, Ray kept performing and recording, determined not to let the disease define him. By 1993, His health had declined significantly. He died at just 34 years old from AIDS-related complications. His death shocked the metal community and reminded everyone that the epidemic was hitting even the toughest rockers. Ray's voice may have been silenced too soon, but his influence on metal's sound and spirit lives on. 7. Klaus Nomi. Klaus Nomi was unlike anyone else in the music world. Born Klaus Sperber in Germany, he moved to New York City in the late 1970s and became famous for his unique blend of opera, new wave, and theatrical glam. His operatic countertenor voice and alien-like costumes made him a cult figure in the downtown scene. Nomi's performances were unlike anything audiences had seen. He combined classical opera arias with futuristic costumes and new wave music, creating a style all his own. He appeared on Saturday Night Live in 1981, bringing his strange and captivating act to a national audience. In the early 1980s, Klaus was diagnosed with AIDS at a time when very little was understood about the disease. He became one of the first performers to die publicly from AIDS, passing away in 1983 at just 39 years old. His death was a wake-up call to the music community about the seriousness of the epidemic. Despite his short career, Klaus left a lasting legacy. His fearless creativity and willingness to push boundaries inspired many artists who came after him. 6. Joe Lynn. Joe Lynn was a trailblazer in glam rock, known for his flamboyant style and bold personality. Born Bruce Wayne Campbell, he was openly gay at a time when few rock stars dared to be. His theatrical performances set the stage for what glam metal would become. His music was a mix of rock, pop, and cabaret, filled with energy and drama. In the early 1970s, Joe Lynn became the first openly gay rock star signed to a major label, Elektra Records. His debut album was produced by Eddie Kramer, who worked with legends like Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin. Joe Lynn's music was ambitious and theatrical, but the public and industry weren't ready for his openness and style. Despite critical praise, Joe Lynn struggled to find commercial success. His second album was shelved, and he faced increasing pressure and isolation. In the early 1980s, he was diagnosed with AIDS, and his health quickly declined. He died in 1983 at the young age of 32. Joe Lynn's story is often overlooked, but his influence on glam and metal scenes is undeniable. He challenged norms and paved the way for future artists to express themselves freely. His life and death highlight the cost of the AIDS epidemic on creative pioneers who dared to be different. 5. Kane. Kane was the bassist for the New York Dolls, a band that played a crucial role in shaping punk rock and glam metal. Born in 1949 in New York, Kane joined the Dolls in the early 1970s. The band's raw sound, wild style, and rebellious attitude influenced countless musicians, including many heavy metal artists who admired their energy and look. The New York Dolls never achieved huge commercial success but became cult heroes. Their mix of glam rock, punk, and hard rock was ahead of its time. Kane's bass playing was solid and driving, anchoring the band's chaotic sound. After the Dolls broke up in 1975, Kane struggled with addiction and homelessness, fading from the music scene. In the 1990s, Kane reconnected with his past and reunited with surviving Dolls members for a comeback. Around this time, it was revealed that Kane was HIV positive. He kept his illness private but faced the challenges it brought quietly. Kane died in 2004 at age 55 from AIDS-related complications. His story is one of both influence and tragedy. Though not a household name, Kane's work with the New York Dolls helped lay the groundwork for glam metal and punk, inspiring generations of musicians who followed. 4. Frank Rodriguez. Frank Rodriguez was a keyboardist who played with Blue Cheer, one of the earliest heavy rock bands often credited as pioneers of heavy metal and psychedelic rock. Blue Cheer's loud, distorted sound in the late 1960s influenced the development of metal's heavy riffs and raw energy. Though Frank Rodriguez joined Blue Cheer later in their career, his contributions added layers to their evolving sound. Blue Cheer was known for their wild live shows and heavy, fuzzed-out guitars that pushed the boundaries of rock music at the time. Frank's life was marked by his dedication to music despite personal struggles. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, it became known that he was living with AIDS. He kept his illness private, continuing to perform and work in music as long as he could. He died in 2001 from AIDS-related causes. While not as widely recognized as some of his bandmates, Frank Rodriguez's role in Blue Cheer's later years contributed to the band's legacy as heavy metal pioneers. 3. Alan Murphy. Alan Murphy was a talented vocalist and session musician, best known for his work with the British band Level 42, which blended jazz, funk, and rock. Though Level 42 is not strictly heavy metal, Alan's powerful voice and collaborations with rock and metal artists connected him to the broader rock scene. Murphy's career spanned the 1980s and early 90s, during which he lent his vocals to various projects and live performances. His soulful singing and stage presence made him a respected figure among musicians and fans alike. In the late 1980s, Alan was diagnosed with AIDS, a time when the disease was still heavily stigmatized and misunderstood. Despite his diagnosis, he continued to work in music, though his health gradually declined. He passed away in 1989 from AIDS-related complications. Alan Murphy's contributions to rock and related genres remain appreciated by those who followed his career. 2. John Sex. John Sex was a flamboyant performance artist and musician who emerged from New York's vibrant downtown scene in the late 1970s and early 80s. Known for his wild costumes, energetic stage shows, and blend of punk, disco, and glam rock, John became a cult figure in underground music. His music was catchy and danceable, mixing rock's attitude with disco beats. John's performances were theatrical and provocative, often challenging norms around gender and sexuality. He worked with many artists in the New York scene and gained a devoted following. In the 1980s, John was diagnosed with AIDS. Like many artists of his time, he kept his illness private for years. Despite his declining health, he continued to perform and create until the disease took its toll. John Sex died in 1990 from AIDS-related complications. His legacy lives on in the influence he had on performance art and glam culture, bridging the gap between underground music and theatrical rock. 1. Shito. Shito was a guitarist for Archangel, a Venezuelan heavy metal band known for their powerful sound and influence in Latin America's metal scene. Archangel combined heavy riffs with melodic elements, earning respect in the metal community. Shito's guitar work was central to the band's identity, helping to shape their aggressive yet melodic style. Archangel's music often featured complex arrangements and passionate performances, making them one of the region's standout metal acts. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Shito was diagnosed with AIDS. He kept his illness mostly private, continuing to perform and contribute to the band's music as long as possible. He passed away from AIDS-related complications, leaving behind a legacy in the Latin American metal scene. Shito's story highlights the global impact of the AIDS epidemic and its reach into diverse music communities. Their voices were loud, their presence unforgettable, but their battles were often fought in silence. These heavy metal legends may be gone, but their music, their courage, and their stories still echo through time. In an industry known for its rebellion, they faced one of the deadliest enemies of their era and left behind legacies that deserve to be remembered. Which of these names surprised you the most? Or is there someone you think we should have included? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more stories that pull back the curtain on fame and tragedy, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.